Hi, welcome to Conversations with Ed, where I ask Ed all questions Badge Nation so I can become the best badger I can be alongside you. So the first thing I actually wanted to ask is, how do employers recognise badges?
I get asked whether employers recognise badges a lot, and it's a long answer. So they started with employers. Employers, so many different versions of what an employer is, and digital badges have been most widely used among some of the biggest employers in the world.
Wow.
So IBM is the biggest user of digital badges, a massive multinational company that has its whole CPD system charted using digital badges, and they have them fully integrated into their internal systems, and that's great. And so they're recognising already very talented people with digital badges for stuff that they do that's really technical and high level, and that's brilliant. But does your average SME down the road recognise digital badges, or even know what digital badges are? Possibly not.
Okay, yeah.
But at the end of the day, digital badges are just a tool. So it's in the hands of the individual to make sure that those employers see their digital badges.
Okay, so if you were talking to someone who was looking for a job and they wanted to apply for a job where an employer doesn't necessarily recognise badges, how could someone go about that?
Yeah, so that's really easy, and that's just about making sure that badges are surfaced in the application process. Okay. So if you ask me, do employers recognise CVs? But like, some ask for CVs and some don't. Some want you to write about yourself, some want you to answer questions. There's no single application process anymore, which is great because one kind of an application process doesn't work for lots of people. So how does an individual make their badges work for them in an application process is the question. And it's just like using very simple lines on your CV or in the written text that you're submitting for an application that says, I have earned some really interesting digital badges. You can have a look at my badges here, and put the URL in. So that's very basic. You can share the URL to your profile, show you all your digital badges.
Okay.
Or you can be a little bit more careful. You can go the extra step again, and you can get the badge image and the URL and say, hey, I was really proud of this activity that I did with Real Ideas, where I learned to do this stuff, and I earned this badge. Bonk, in goes the badge image, and then link that image by putting the URL in it, and then that becomes a clickable badge on a CV or in the body of an application.
Brilliant.
And then it's a case of, actually, can employers read and look at pictures? Yes, of course they can.
Everyone loves pictures.
Everyone loves pictures, and it's a way of sort of appendicizing your application without adding to the word count.
Okay, it's really interesting you should say that, because I remember when I was applying for this role, and I mentioned a couple of my badges in my cover letter. Not to brag, but I got a young facilitator badge and an expert collaborator badge. So for you as an employer, how did you feel seeing me reference my badges?
That's a great question. So I've seen badges in application processes where people have been applying to Real Ideas, because we've done the very simple thing of just saying, if you've got digital badges, show them to us on our Work With Us page. So it's an invitation for people to do this thing. And we still use a shortlisting matrix, a scoring matrix to shortlist applicants. And when you say in your job description that you want somebody with facilitation skills, for example, and then you see that they've got a facilitator badge, it's like, oh, okay, I can. That's some really that's verified evidence of activity. It's verified by an employer. I can see it in that application. I can score that highly immediately. It's really, and I don't have to dig through acres of text to find the thing where they reference the bit of facilitation they did 6 months ago. So it's from a shortlister's perspective, from a recruiter's perspective, Oh, saves so much time. It's brilliant.
I can see that because I feel like it's just a really efficient way to get your point across. And I think for me, when I was applying for varying positions, because I didn't just do it when I applied to Badge Nation, it was like I could actually back up what I was saying. I feel like it's one thing to say on my CV, I'm really good at this, I'm really good at that, but it's even more amazing that I have a bit of proof.
The badge rubber stamps it, right?
Yes, right, and I'm really proud of it. Like, and I can be like, hey, I actually earned this. And yeah, I can definitely see badges being the future for the recruitment process because I think it just benefits everyone and it just makes complete sense. So if you have any badges, I really think you should try and put on your CV or even like your LinkedIn. So then it gets to a point that even just employers can find you personally if they're looking for someone like you. And it just gets to the point a lot faster and you don't know where it's going to lead for you. For me, it led me to Badge Nation, so you should try it out. And you know what? I think you've answered my question.
Brilliant.
I think I've found out how employers can recognise badges and why they should. So thank you, Ed. I feel like I've learnt a lot, and you better have learnt a lot too, because...
That's what we're here for, right?
Exactly.